Hello everyone. We are going to find the value of x in this equation. To solve it, we write 4 as 2 to the power of 2 and this term to the power of x plus 2 to the power of x. We move 20 to the left side. That's why we have minus 20 equal 0. From algebra, we know that if a is to the power of n and the whole thing is to the power of m, we can write this expression as a to the power of n times m, or a to the power of m times n, and then we can write it as a to the power of m and the whole thing to the power of n. We did this because of commutative property of multiplication. So, if we use this identity, we can write this equation in the form as 2 to the power of x, and this is to the power of 2, plus 2 to the power of x minus 20 equals 0. Basically, this identity shows that n and m, that both are powers, can be switched. So instead of a, n, m, we have a, m, n. So we use the same identity here. Now, we have 2 to the power of x and this to the power of 2 and also 2 to the power of x in this equation. We are going to define a new variable. That's why we show 2 to the power of x by y. So if we substitute y in this equation, we would have y to the power of 2 plus y minus 20 equal 0. So now we have quadratic equation and we can use different methods to solve it. For example, we can use quadratic formula or factoring method. If you want to solve this equation faster, then I suggest to use factoring method. We write this equation as y plus a times y plus b. This is equal to 0. So a and b are two numbers that if we add them, we should get 1 because the coefficient of y is 1. And if we multiply them, we should get minus 20. So the two numbers that we can pick up is 5 and minus 4. Because if we multiply 5 by minus 4, the result will be minus 20. And if we add them, we get plus 1, which is the coefficient of y in this equation. So we write a as 5 and b minus 4. If we substitute these two numbers in this equation, we get y plus 5 times y minus 4 equal 0. Now to have this equation equal 0, either y plus 5 should be 0 or y minus 4. So we need to equal each of these equations to 0. Y plus 5 equals 0 and y minus 4 is 0. So from this equation, we get y as minus 5. And from the second equation, y has to be 4 to get 0 for this equation. But y is 2 to the power of x. 2 to the power of x is y. And 2 to the power of x cannot be negative, regardless what x is. That's why between these two solutions, y cannot be acceptable, because it is negative. So the correct answer is 4. That's why we can write 2 to the power of x equal 4. But we can write 4 as 2 to the power of 2. Let's do it. 2 to the power of x is equal to 2 to the power of 2. So if this equation has to be valid, then x has to be 2. Therefore, the value of x that we are looking for is 2. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe the channel for more videos. Thank you for watching.